wanted to do or expect or dread from this retreat, 2-month winter retreat. We read books about Buddhist meditation, about Dhamma, and we get ideas of how things, we form perceptions. We have perceptions of how we should practice, or what Dhamma is, or Buddhism. We have our own memories of our own practice through both pleasant and unpleasant ones. But when we contemplate this as experience of feeling, and we feel this sensitive realm, this is a realm of sensitivity. Sensitivity is this way, isn't it? Not like an idea at all. It's here and now. You're feeling right now something or other. If you observe, if you're mindful, you're feeling something right now. It's this way. Physical sensation. Maybe you feel hot or cold, or feeling vigorous and healthy, awake and alert, or sleepy or dull, sickly, sick at your stomach, headache, or maybe not much of one way or the other, neutral. Or the mood. I mean, maybe you feel very clear and bright, or very oppressed and tense and nervous. Maybe you're expecting or dreading or anticipating, or maybe you're feeling guilty or about something you've done, or you're feeling just generally dull, confused, or certain, sure of yourself. So that reflecting on it, you're paying attention to the mood, the kind of mood that you're experiencing now. Reflecting on the fact that this sensitivity is this way, sensory realm, senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. This whole thing is the experience from the birthday one to the death day. It's that whole span, lifespan of a human being is the experience of sensory experience. This is the way it is. Sensitivity implies pleasure and pain. You're not just sensitive in an abstraction, a kind of ideal sensitivity. Sensitivity, pleasure is like this. When you feel pleasure, feel happy, feeling positive, feeling certain, feeling elated. That's the good side of sensitivity. The pleasure, the pain is feeling confused, uncertain, sick, weak, depressed, despair, anguish, lamentation, grief, doubt and worry, anxiety, pain, physical pain. Have to see the ugly, hear the unpleasantness of sound, experiencing unpleasant odors, unpleasant tastes, the cold and the pain on the body, bad memories, fears and desires, and all this, the pain, the suffering, the dukkha of our life is a sensitivity. Pleasure, pain. Neither pleasure nor pain. Now we're sensitive, having been born, means that we're sensitive for the lifespan of this body. And it's not just a sense it's not just a kind of soulless condition that goes through life, just a kind of operating according to the common conditioning of this formation. There is an ability to transcend it, to learn, to reflect, to contemplate our own existence. This is what we're doing as samanas, aren't we? This is the purpose of our life, to abide more in that transcending awareness of this realm of sensitivity, awareness of what seeing is, and sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, memory, perception, conception, consciousness. We're conscious by nature, but we can reflect on consciousness itself. What is consciousness? And we're not just trying to find out what it is according to a definition in a dictionary, where the consciousness is this way. We can contemplate our own conscious experience. Reflection, contemplation, investigation, awareness of the way it is. This is the Buddha, refuge in Buddha, seeing the Dhamma. This retreat I've been trying to encourage you to look at what attachment to perception is, like how one holds on to perceptions and conceptions. It makes kind of absolutes out of them. Because we perceive things we have this ability to perceive, to name things. We have language, we have memory and language, so we can perceive things as being something or other. And so our experience of life, say, if not mindful and not awakened to the way it is, then we tend to live in a totally false realm of believing our perceptions as being more than what they are, such as the very sense of a self, isn't it? That I am this person. It's a perception. I am Sumedho bhikkhu. It's a perception. Fair enough. Perception's all right. Nothing wrong with it. It's a wonderful gift. In fact, it's a kind of miraculous ability we have to perceive things, to have names and concepts, to be able to create concepts, to think. But when it is out of avijja or ignorance of Dhamma, then we create a perceived world that is out of touch with reality, out of touch with Dhamma. It's a world of ourself, isn't it? It's me and mine. It's a realm conditioned out of ignorance. So the result of that is the suffering. It's always the realm of despair and anxiety. The unreal world, the false views, the attachments, the absolutizing the relative, the assumptions we make about ourselves and the world we live in. All this is a realm that is unsatisfactory. In itself, it's just totally unsatisfactory. We cannot be satisfied with the false world, the false realms we create. They will only disappoint us, only cause us more discontentment, anxiety and worry. So that's why our refuge is not in our personalities or our conditioning. We're not taking refuge in any conventions of, like, not taking refuge in being British or in being a man or a woman or in being middle class, working class, or being educated, uneducated, being anything. What is that? Cultural conditioning, social conditioning. These are not our refuges. We take refuge in any of them, in personality, in social position, in views and opinions, in political views, in nationality, in race, in gender, even in Buddhism as a perception. Take refuge in any of these things, we end up always with a sokha paritewa dukkha tomanassa upayasa. You probably are aware of that by now. I've emphasized the result of ignorance, taking refuge in illusions, in phantoms and specters. And the result is sokha paritewa dukkha tomanassa upayasa. And the pictures in the latest Time magazine of Baghdad or scenes in Iraq where a kind of destruction and people's homes and people in a state of despair and anguish. You know, where your refuges, your home, your family, your city, your country, all these things that are so important, so real to us, this real world, quote, real world, unquote, real world, is falling apart. It's unsafe. They're very much aware of what seemed fairly, relatively absolute, like Baghdad and Iraq and things, you know, just the things one takes for granted, living in a city or in a country that has a measure of you know, where you think you can take for granted the fact that you have a house or that your family lives there and it's your country. Yet these signs of human anguish, despair, because these things are being destroyed or attacked or being threatened. This terrible weaponry of modern technology, and just zoom down and just wipe it out, and all that is mine, beloved and pleasing can just disappear in an explosion. And here in Britain now, the IRA becoming quite active in terrorizing London train stations and so forth. It's very frightening, isn't it, to disrupt what we would like to be relatively absolute, a sense of everything's okay, it's all right, Britain is okay, it's safe, it's a safe country, we're all right, there's law and order, everything's under control. We like that feeling, don't we? Here in the monastery, we'd like to have that, everything is all right, everything is under control. Our refuges oftentimes are in that desire, that feeling of wanting everything to be all right, everything to be nice, everything to be harmonious, everything to be under control. Because we know that this realm we're in, intuitively, we're very much aware that this is an uncertain place. This is a transition. This realm we're in, this birth in a human form, consciousness on planet Earth, is the realm of sokha paritewa dukkha tomanassa upayasa. It's fraught with birth, old age, sickness, and death. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise. It's the way it is, isn't it? This is an uncertain, insecure realm in itself. And a conditioned realm can only be that way. There's nothing conditioned that can be certain, secure, or be any kind of refuge at all. And yet, how many of you take refuge in your ideas, your views, your things, in perceptions, conceptions, your conditioned attitudes, thing stable and harmonious and certain for us, and then fearing that it's all we're going to lose control. It's going to be taken away from us. But if you already, the loss of control, whatever happens, anything, senility or being bombed by the Iraqis, or from the best to the worst, a human being, we have amazing ability to endure and to learn from life. And what we really learn from is suffering, isn't it? It's suffering that we really learn from. We don't learn much from happiness at all. I've never really learned very much from happiness. I've learned most of the really profound insights has been through despair and anguish, through understanding suffering.